So normally we come on at 1 o'clock, but when Brent Rooker says that he wants to go early, we're going to go early. Why? Because he just won the Silver Slugger Award, the first A to do it since 2002. And we check in with Rook just outside of Memphis. How are you?
Good, man. I'm doing well. Happy to be here. Happy to talk to you guys again. It's been a little bit, obviously, since we talked at the end of the year, but I'm excited to be here as always.
Yeah, so what has it been like this off season for you, kind of like to decompress, look at a season that was obviously super special for you to win this award, the Silver Slugger Award, as the designated hitter. Now that you've had time to step away from it and you reflect, what's it been like?
Yeah, it's been cool. Obviously, after the season ends, take 2 or 3 weeks, don't really do anything, just kind of relax, like you said, decompress. And then now kind of getting into the phase of the off season where you start to look back a little bit and I've satisfaction of things I was able to accomplish. And now it's time for me to kind of turn the page, look back at the year, look at what I did well, look at what I think I can still improve on, and then kind of put together a plan for this off season and even spring training that I think is going to take me to the next level and allow me to continue to improve.
And I think a lot of people don't realize with you guys in that clubhouse, the great vibe that was going on, as really it takes a long time to turn that boat, but it seems like that boat's going in the right direction and starting to win, and watching the young players, to watch them grow. Just talk about when you were leaving, what kind of vibe there was inside that clubhouse with this team heading into this next season.
Yeah, it's special. I think, even after that last game in Seattle, guys are already kind of itching to get to spring training and get back with this group that we have and continue the momentum that we built the last three or so months of the year. I think we've got a bunch of guys who are bought into what we're doing, a bunch of guys who are bought into each other, bought into themselves as individually as players. There's a lot of confidence both in one another as teammates and then in ourselves as well as individual players. So I think we all like what we have going. We could all kind of sense the things starting to change and starting to turn towards the end of the year and even, kind of starting midway through the year. And we're just looking forward to getting back at it and keeping that momentum going.
Now, obviously, the Silver Slugger, we're talking a lot about your numbers. But when I think about what you have become for this organization, when the young players come on this show and they talk about you, and we've gone over your journey a lot about how you got here and what's happened since you've become an athletic, but just talk about what it means to you, how the young players now look up to you, how you've become one of the leaders, if not from a position player standpoint, if not the leader in the clubhouse. What does that mean to you as a player?
It's special, man. It's something I enjoy because I really like watching the young guys kind of come into their own and figure out how good they are and make improvements both on the field and in their preparation as well, and their mental game as well, the way they think through things, the way that they think about themselves, the way they're able to keep their confidence up, and seeing those things kind of develop and then turn into the players that they're turning into is really cool. And for me to kind of be even a small part of that by just kind of, I think a lot of the value that I have is the fact that I've played a bunch of different roles on teams. I've kind of done it all, right? I've been kind of the highly thought of prospect who's getting his first shot. And then I've kind of been the guy fighting for a roster spot. And then I've been the guy who's bounced back and forth between AAA and the big leagues, trying to kind of make the AAA success translate into the major leagues. And then I've been the everyday guy who hits third and fourth, middle of the order every day. So I've kind of played every role you can possibly play on a team. And that allows me to kind of meet guys where they're at in terms of the points in their career and kind of be able to relate to them and empathize with what they're going through, what they're struggling with, and also kind of see what they're doing well and point those things out to them. So I think that's something I enjoy doing. Like I said, is talking guys through the situation and kind of where they're at in their career and helping them to hopefully kind of take that next step and become the next version of themselves.
If somebody asked me about you, I think you just hit the nail on the head talking about all the different roles and inside your journey. And now that you're putting up these numbers, a lot of people aren't going to remember this, but I've been doing this a long time in a lot of different sports, and we see a lot of athletes, they get to a moment in their career, it's a make or break time. And unfortunately for a lot of guys, it breaks them and they don't end up having careers. You were really at that point there in spring training. It came down to the very last decision, and you had played so well. You had earned the right to be here. Just go back, because this is so we could talk about mechanics and swing changes, but at the highest level, it's so much about the mental side of this game. Just talk about what that meant to you to make this club basically on the last day, and you've never looked back.
Yeah, it was a special moment. It was a stressful day, and it was a relieving feeling when I got that news, obviously, because I kind of, I had been DFA'd and then claimed in November. And I had talking to Mark early that offseason, as soon as I got claimed, talking to David, talking to finding some of the guys in the front office, the message was like, hey, like, we're not, nothing is guaranteed, obviously, but like if you come in and you perform well in spring training, we think there's an opportunity for you to make this team and earn some at bats. And so that was my mindset coming to that camp, was just go in, prove myself, do what I do offensively, and kind of let everything take care of itself. And for that to be rewarded with that last roster spot and be given the opportunity to kind of earn more bats as we got into the season was really cool.
Well, a lot of people don't realize you were playing hurt too this season. That's what also makes your season so remarkable. The numbers are just, they're MVP-like. And I know it's something that you didn't want to dwell on. You want to be in the lineup every single day, so you DH. We've been telling people, hey, listen, he's going to be back playing some outfield this year. Just talk about battling through that forearm issue.
Yeah, it was, it happened really, really early in the year. So it was just kind of 145 games of managing it and dealing with it and treating it every day, making sure we took care of it after the game to just be able to kind of get to the next day and get back in the lineup. And our training staff did a fantastic job of keeping me on the field, for the whole season, which was our goal all along. And so, yeah, got it fixed, had surgery right after the year was over. We're about 6.5, 7 weeks into that. I just had a follow-up with doctor. Everything looks great, so we're right on track. PT is going well. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to being fully healthy next year, being able to get back out in the outfield and contribute in that way as well. But as far as this past year goes, it was just kind of a day-to-day kind of just making sure we're taking care of it, making sure we're managing as best as possible so that I can stay in the lineup.
It's not easy to DH. Everybody thinks, it's 4 at-bats, but there's a lot of time in between those at-bats. There's a lot to think about. You're not going out on defense. So what was it like getting into the routine? Did you have a routine? What did you do in between bats to keep not only the body and the blood flowing, but to keep your mind engaged?
Yeah, I think for me at least, like I don't have any superstitions or anything like that. I kind of just subconsciously fall into a routine without really realizing it. So I did a lot of pacing. I was kind of hardly ever just sitting still. A lot of walking around between at bats. A lot of watching video, which there's a balance in watching video. And I tended to watch more video, to watch pitch sequences, watch how he's pitching other guys. Not trying to dwell on mechanics or what my swing looked like in game, but trying to figure out something about the pitcher. Hey, he likes to. If he throws an 0-1 change up, like he likes to go back to fastball, or if he misses arm side with fastball, he doesn't go slide, or something like that, like little tendencies to pick up to help me, and then to kind of relay that information to other guys as well and help them with their bats. So I would spend a lot of time walking around. At home, I went up in the weight room just to make sure I stayed moving, whatever that was, and then, like I said, just tried to study the pitcher as much as I could to both benefit me in my next few at bats, and then see if I could find anything out to help the team as well.
This past season, as you start going through it and the numbers, because last year you started out really, really hot and it was kind of up and down. You were so consistent this year, 47 points higher with your batting average. I tell everybody, when you hit for batting average, it just raises everything up because the power's there. Just where was it in the season where you were feeling that consistency? You had that confidence going in every single day. When did it really start happening for you?
I think probably early June or mid to late June, I think, is kind of when I kind of made the switch from who I was in 23 to who I was for the rest of the year. I think up until it was a series in Anaheim towards the back half of June, that up until that point, I had kind of been who I was in 23 still. The strikeouts were high. The average was kind of right where it had been the previous year. I had the power spurts, which is what were kind of keeping me productive. And then I made a few adjustments, both swing-wise and preparation-wise, and to my approach that series in Anaheim. And for the rest of the year, I was able to remain much more consistent in the fact that, like, I've always been very streaky power-wise, which is how a lot of guys work in the big leagues, right? The slugging kind of comes in bunches. You hit one homer, you tend to hit 4. It's kind of that thing. So the difference between this year and last year was during those between those streaks of power, between those little home run bursts, I was able to maintain. I was able to take my singles. I was able to take my walks. I was able to continue to get on base. and remain productive in other ways to where I wasn't just solely relying on, hitting homers to produce runs.
A lot of people don't know you're a big breakfast guy. I still think we need to get you that breakfast sponsorship. I'm going to work on that this off season. When you think breakfast and you think the big leagues, when you're traveling around, you go to a series, where's the place that you go like, I can't wait to get there?
My favorite place is in Detroit. It's in Birmingham where we stay. It's a place called Toast right down the road from the hotel. That's my favorite spot in the league to go get. To wake up in the morning and go get breakfast.
The Townsend Hotel in Birmingham.
Right, yeah, that's right. Right down the road from the Townsend. About 2 blocks.
Yeah, because it's the thing that's so interesting about as you get older is learning, getting back into routines, is how to take care of your body, what to do, what not to do, because that's so key for someone like yourself to stay consistent throughout the year. Is you got to learn how to fuel the body, how to take care of the body, how to stay healthy. We just look at numbers and we worry about home runs and RBIs, but a big part of this game is knowing yourself and how to keep the machine running at full optimum.
Absolutely, and especially on the road, right? Because being a West Coast team, there's a lot of travel involved for our schedule. There's a lot of long flights. There's a lot of changing time zones, and you got to learn to manage that as far as your sleep goes, as far as when you're eating, as far as kind of learning what works best for you. I've kind of learned over the years that I tend to respond better. I tend to play better. If I get up in the morning, I get out and walk around and go get something to eat. And then instead of laying in bed up until the bus times, whatever it is, if I make myself get up and do something in the morning, my body tends to feel better for the rest of the day. I feel more energetic. I feel more rested. And then that leads to better performance, obviously.
Well, I got to tell you, it's been great to watch your journey. It's been a lot of fun. You've been an inspiration to a lot of people inside the organization, and we're all real excited. The way it ended as a team, the way this team is going, and knowing more young guys are coming, this team is just looking up. So enjoy the holidays. You got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, you got New Year's. Enjoy that with the young family, and we'll see you in Mesa, Arizona. I know everybody's going to be excited to get the 2025 season going.
Perfect. Can't wait, guys. See y'all soon.